Welcome to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Today we're going to make this beautiful poinsettia wreath, and I'm going to show you how to take a simple wire wreath frame, some plastic canvas, some burlap, and some bulbs from Dollar Tree. This is a petal design that was invented by Dean Michael Designs, and she graciously allowed me to show you how to make this today. So make sure you check out her channel below. Let's get started. So all we're going to do is we're just going to take a 10-inch wreath frame. Let me explain a little bit about the wreath frames and how they work. You can get a very simple wire wreath frame. I purchased mine from consumercrafts.com, but you can also get them in my Amazon store, and you can get them from Amazon if you so wish. And the link is in the description below. So each wreath frame has sections, and this one has 5. So I really like the 10-inch. You could use a 12-inch, but just be prepared to maybe use maybe an extra layer in the middle, but you will just need extra poly burlap when you're making this, or mesh, whatever you want to use. But for me, I really like the 10-inch. I feel like by the time the wreath is done, it makes a very nice size wreath for your door. So I've done this in a lot of videos, and basically it's a very inexpensive way to make a wreath. Just a wire wreath frame, some plastic mesh. This is canvas, and this is the 5 mesh. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the circle that I cut out already. I just simply put my frame on the mesh, and I will take a marker and go around the circle here like so. And then I will just cut it out. So all I'm going to do is take this, go underneath, and take my 4-inch zip ties and connect them to the frame. So I'll put about 6 of these around the frame, and then I will clip off the tails, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my poly burlap. This is 10-inch poly burlap. This is a great product to use outside, and I just really enjoy working with it. I'm going to cut it on my glass cutting board, and I'm going to use my wood burner, and you can kind of see which tip I'm using there. And it's like the straight edge tip, and all of this stuff is available in my Amazon store, so just find the link in the description box below if you are interested. So I basically am going to cut off a part here to make it nice and straight. But the key to this is just to cut in between the rows, and your poly burlap has rows. So we're just going to stay in between a row. So we're going to cut these at 10 inches each, and you're just going to go very kind of quickly. This is about how fast I go through mine. And what it does, it does kind of melt the edges of the poly burlap. I do want to tell you, you should be wearing a mask when you use this product, because it does put off fumes, and to be safe, it is very good idea to use a mask. So I have one of those in my Amazon store as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this whole roll, and I will probably cut about half of the second roll, just because I know we will need more than one roll to finish this wreath. So I'm going to cut them at 10 inches each, and I will be back when I have it all cut and ready to go. I have my mesh already cut out, and so now let's work on the petal technique. For this petal technique, I'm going to use a friend of mine's petal called the Dean Michael Daisy petal. She is the person who originated this petal. So if you've seen this petal in any other wreaths, know that you can go to Dean Michael Designs and watch the original creator of it, and her name is Trish, and she's a good friend of mine. So I want to make sure that I leave a link in the description box below. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take our 10-inch by 10-inch mesh, and we're going to make a triangle. And I've done this in other videos as well. So you're just going to mark in your mind the middle spot here, and you're just going to gather it together like that. I had lost the word in my mind, okay? So basically, she does hers with pipe cleaners. I'm going to show you how to do it with zip ties today. I'm going to just kind of pinch the bottom here. See what I did? And I'm going to put one on this middle, the second wire on the bracket. So I'm going to just take my zip tie And I'm going to show you where I put it. You see where I put it? One on one side and one on the other. I'm going to place my petal right here. And where I have pinched it is where I'm going to just close up that zip tie. Okay? So I'm just going to take my wire cutters and I'm going to go through and do each bracket the same way. So after I do that bracket, then I'm going to go and let's just do another one here, and then that way I can show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay my pipe cleaner, going to make my triangle. I'm going to gather it up through the middle. Okay, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to squeeze it together and then squeeze the bottom. So I have a place where my zip tie can attach to. All right. And then we're going to put one in the middle here as well. Do the same way. Just take a zip tie and you're just going to go through and we're going to see if we need an extra petal, but I'm thinking we won't. All right, easy. It's all done. So basically you will end up putting just 10 petals on this outside frame, okay? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to put one on each of these brackets and then fill in a petal on the outside, and I'll be back and we'll show you the next step. All right, so we have that first layer. Let me get some of this out of the way. All the way around we used 10 petals all together. And so the next layer, we're going to use another 10 petals. So what we're going to do is we use this wreath bar, not the outside, but the next wreath bar for our first round of petals. So for the next round of petals, we're just going to go to the bar in front of it where the bottom of our original petals is touching. So basically what we want to do is just go in between each of these petals. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put a zip tie right there. We're going to make our petal. And I just like to bring it up and pinch it and lay it in that zip tie and secure. We're going to do that one more time. And it's just a simple, easy way to make a daisy wreath, a poinsettia wreath. Today we're making the poinsettia version, and I just think with the holidays here, you could do this for your Christmas decorations, and then you could change out the middle. We're going to be doing an ornament center, and you could definitely change that out. So I'm going to go all the way around, and so what we're going to do is add 10 more petals, and basically you're going to just fill in each of these gaps. So we will be right back, and we will start on the next row. You can see we have our second row, and it's looking quite beautiful. I'm really excited about this one, guys. We're going to do another row of 10 petals. Now, we're going to use that plastic grid we have in the middle, and basically we're going to put a petal in between each of the second row petals. So, where am I going to put my pipe cleaner? Or, not pipe cleaner, zip tie. I'm going to put it right in between these two petals. So, I'm going to be pretty close to the edge here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So, I'm putting it right in between so we can put a petal right there. So I'm going to take my burlap here, my poly burlap. I'm going to make my petal. And you can always fold it over a little bit so that you don't have as much a raw edge showing. And we're going to just lay it right in there. So I'm going to go around this whole wreath, and we are going to put a petal in between each of these sections. So wherever there's a petal over on these two sides, you're going to put a petal in between. So I will be right back and we will do the last row. Okay, so we're back and I've done the middle petals. So far we have 30 cuts of the 10-inch. So at this point, if you just wanted to use one roll of 10-inch poly burlap, you could be done. And you would just use enough ornaments to fill the space. But I'm going to take it and use another, probably a set of 10 petals, but we will see. I'll tell you at the end here. And I'm going to put another layer of petals because I only want a few of the bulbs in the center of this wreath. And I want to make sure that everything is covered. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to take a zip tie. And I'm going to try to go in between the petals here, right in front of the end of one, will I put another petal. So we're just going to put our zip tie right there. And you can even, as long as you keep track of your zip ties, you can go ahead and put your zip ties in. But I'm just going to take and make a petal, make a triangle, do your gather, and then pinch at the bottom. So if you like to create wreaths or anything crafty, I do have a group on Facebook called Wreath Creators and More, and I would love to have you join. So I will leave the link down in the comments or in the description box below, not the comments below. And also, if you like the way I teach, I do have special premium wreath tutorials right now, and they are in the comments or the description box below as well. And those are a little bit more advanced wreaths, not necessarily advanced technique wise, but just how I do them, have different techniques that I don't share on YouTube. But they are a great way to learn how to make more wreaths, and I have private Facebook groups for most of those. So as you can see, we're going to put one there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put another one right beside it. So I'm just going to put my zip tie right in here. Okay, and then we're just going to put it all, they'll basically be touching so that they're all very close together. And we're just basically making a smaller center for ourselves. And what I want to tell you, and I think I told you earlier, you know, you could make this wreath and then, you know, change out the center for winter. You know, do like a black center would be really pretty. But I know that you could use fabric mesh with this. I do think that you could use the deco mesh, but you might need to add a few more petals to it. So you would definitely probably need 2 rolls of that. But I'm going to just keep going through here and adding all of my petals, and I will come back and we will make that center. So before I start doing the leaves and we do the center, I just wanted to show you how closely everything is spaced in this wreath. But I wanted to save the last petal for last, and I have one little space, and we did manage to get 10 full leaves, or petals actually, I don't know why I'm calling them leaves, in this wreath. So you have 10 petals on the outside, 10 on the next layer, and then you have 10 here and then 10 here. So 40 total if you're going to do it exactly the way I am doing it here today. But like I said, if you wanted to just stick with one roll of the poly burlap, which I totally get, and maybe just fill it with more of the ornaments that we're going to put, go right ahead. It's not a big deal. And make it look the way you want it to look. And I really like how this frame, just the simple wire wreath frame, gives it so much volume, and it just really pops up. So I just want to kind of share this last little petal that I'm going to put in there. So now we're going to work on the back of this wreath. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip it over and, excuse me, I want you to be very careful. I don't want you to push this down in any way. I want you to be very gentle with it, okay? So I took, because my friend Trish, in her original tutorial, she did it a little bit different than I'm doing it, and that's totally okay. Do your thing. I did cut my lime green 10-inch roll of poly burlap at at 11 inches and not 10 inches. So that's a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to meet in the middle here. You will have some overlapping on each side. That's okay. We're going to do the same technique, and we are going to just take our petal. As you can see, either way is going to be fine. And I'm going to take a zip tie, and I'm just going to place it underneath here. Let me show you here. I'm going to place it at the same point around my wreath frame so that we get the same distance. Okay, so right here is where the bracket is. So I'm going over about an inch or so, and I'm just going to go through the middle of this instead of pinching it like I showed you with the other ones. I'm just going to pull that really good. So this is going to be sticking out, and then we will end up putting a piece of felt on the outside of our frame, which will cover all this up. And even if you didn't want to put a piece of felt, it's still very neat and tidy. So I'm going to do the same thing all the way around. I'm going to move it over here, very gentle, like you don't want to press down on your wreath. And about an inch to the left of that bracket, I'm just going to place my zip tie right here. Going to make my leaf. Again, make that triangle. It doesn't have to be exact because this is an 11 inch, so it's going to come over a little bit on either side. So we're just going to take this and zip tie it. And then this way, it keeps it very consistent all the way around. So I'm going to finish this, and then I will be back, and we will put our ornaments in our wreath. So we're back, and we have all of our leaves done, and I really like the way it turned out. I do them at the end because I feel like when I put them on at the beginning, they get a little worn, and I just prefer to do it that way. If you want to add them at the beginning with that first petal on that bracket, go right ahead. So I'm going to show you how to do these ornaments. The balls of the ornaments themselves came from Dollar Tree, and I just simply used some wire, and I will link a video below in the description box of my friend Michelle Noble of A Noble Touch Crafts. Make sure you subscribe to her channel and let her know that I sent you to her. She's a great crafter. She will make amazing things for you to watch, and she's one of my really good friends. So if you want to learn how exactly I got this to stay, I want you to watch the video I post below. So basically what I'm going to do is, because we have this grid down here, I'm just going to start by adding one bulb at a time, and I will probably just kind of arrange them as I go here. And I do like the fact that with the wire, they just have a little bit more control, and I can move them a little bit. And so I'm grabbing the wires down at the bottom as I put these through. And this gives you more control than, say, using pipe cleaners. And I know I think I've showed you how to use pipe cleaners in the past. So for this one, I think we're going to be able to get away with just using 5 bulbs here. So I'm hoping anyways. Push this one in. Okay. And when you get this all done, you could put a little dab of glue if you feel like you need, you know, to add a little bit more. So, all right, I kind of like in the way that looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply twist this. I'm going to bring it over, and I'm going to twist all those, and I want to make sure that they stay where they're going to stay. Okay, so let's twist it back over. So now I'm going to just take my last bulb and run it right down the middle here. And then I'm just going to twist that around the existing ones, and I'm kind of holding this up. This isn't laying on the table. So I'm going to just flip it over. Yep, I like the way that looks. I think that looks really cute. I'm going to just clip this and get the extra wires gone. And these are on my Amazon shop as well. And I'm going to fold these over, and I like to push my wires back down into that grid so there's no wires sticking up that could possibly hurt a door or wall. And then you're just going to press that down. So all I'm going to do is take a piece of felt and cover that. But that is your finished product, and I think that is super cute. And like I said, if you want, after Christmas, if you make this for your door or something, take this out and maybe put a black center. And I have so many videos with different centers that you can do. So I really appreciate you staying with me for this video. If you've made it this far in this video, I always like to ask you to leave an emoji. So I'm going to ask you to leave the winking eye emoji, the little smile emoji that has a little wink in it. So that maybe makes people wonder, I wonder what that's all about. So if you made it to this far in the video, you are one of the faithful, and I appreciate it. But listen, make sure you subscribe, share this video, and let me know in the comments what other craft projects or wreaths or anything that you'd like to see me do on this channel. I really am encouraged by all your comments, and I do try to go over them all. And so make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time in Julie's Wreath Boutique.